I see this big fin come up behind us, and it was moving quite fast.
Good morning, my friends. This morning I have a VIP with me to tell you an incredible story. So I mentioned Alan in one of my previous videos. We were playing our handpan, or his handpan, down at the beach, and we actually met about 3 or 4 years ago. I started van life 4 years ago, and I came down to, I've got like a local spot that I hang out, and Alan just, we started chatting one day about, he was telling me some pretty cool stories, and ever since he's been coming in and telling me some pretty cool stories. But when he came down the other day, he's told me the story to trump all stories. So I'm going to now hand the mic over to Alan to tell us his incredible story from this week of encountering a great white shark out in his kayak. Take us through what happened.
Well, on the Saturday, I go with the Sea Kayaking Club, and we have a paddle from Hillary's on Saturday mornings and Wednesday mornings, and it's sort of a regular thing. Different people go on it. So we did our one on Saturday, and our group, some people went further up the coast, or sorry, down the coast, and I was part of that group, and some went back a bit early. And the earlier group that went back first, they ran into a 5-metre great white off Sorrento. They all rafted together, which is one of the things that kayakers are supposed to do in that situation. And then they had the chopper there, because they had radios. They put out an emergency call, because they were pretty freaked out by it all. And then the chopper came, and then I think a boat from Hillary's came and waited till the shark sort of moved off, and then they paddled back into the harbour, and then we were sort of given the okay to head back as well. But it was a bit of a nervous paddle through the same area where the shark had just been seen. Then on Wednesday we thought, well, lightning doesn't strike in the same spot. We're not going to. So we went the opposite direction, and then and I was a little bit nervous. I thought, I'll just hug the coast. But then there was 11 of us actually from memory. We decided that, or someone decided it was a good idea, because it was such a good day, to paddle out to Little Island, which is about 2 or 3 k's out. So sort of apprehensively, I'd sort of joined them. I thought, well, it's better to stick together. I don't know if we should be out here with a shark around in this area. Anyway, we get to the island, we paddle around the island, we see the sea lions, and then we're coming back. About halfway back, I'm with a group of 4 other guys, so there's 5 of us. I see this big fin come up behind us, and it was moving quite fast, and it just sort of came right on the surface, and it was big, and it just came up to the rudders on the back of our kayaks, and then it just slowed down, didn't hit anything. And then from there on, we just spent the next 10 or 15 minutes with this great white swimming underneath us and around us.
Yeah, roger that, Tim. We're sitting out here. We seem to be being circled by a shark. Over. No worries, mate.
And it wasn't going to go away, it just kept coming. So we again radioed up for a chopper, or whoever's around, and a chopper came out and buzzed around. That didn't really deter the shark at all. Didn't seem to be bothered by the chopper. And then a couple of boats came out from Hillary's, and that sort of made the difference. Once they got in between the shark and us, the shark seemed to be sort of intimidated by that, and we were given the signal to head back, so we sprinted back to the harbour.
And it's because some people may think that, like, being in a kayak, you might be safe around a great white, but there have been actual attacks here, like I think off Cottesloe, Wasn't there a gentleman that lost his life a few years ago?
Yeah, he wasn't in a kayak, but there has been a couple of people killed there.
Okay.
But one guy in a surf ski had the whole surf ski broken in half there.
Yeah.
And then just north of Hillary's, a guy had same thing.
Yeah.
I think it was 2018 or something I was saying on the news. I'm not sure if that's right.
Yeah.
And he was just off the beach off Pinnaroo Point, which is not very far up.
Yeah.
So it just shows you can be pretty close to shore if they're around. If it's not your day.
Yeah, I love how you've all banded together though, but what I find interesting is that it actually just still stuck around, like it was still curious. Like you guys there was 4 or 5 of you, did you say?
There was 5 of us all together, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's quite a big thing, and still that shark was just still circling and circling you.
There's a couple of guys there, they were discussing whether to just take off. And we're going like, no, maybe we're better off all sticking together.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit like, how long are we going to be stuck out here?
Yeah.
Because we can't just stay out there forever,
Yeah.
And another thing that came up as well was it was really calm, so we could see the shark really well. But if it had been a bit rough, we might not have even seen that shark at all.
Well, that's
if
what
it was
I'm
choppy,
wondering.
it's quite hard to see from a kayak because you're sitting so low in the water. And also, you're like, you can just put your hand in the water in a kayak. These are sea kayaks with a cockpit, so you're sitting in them. And you just put your hand in the water, so you're not sitting on top of anything. And when the shark was coming past, honestly, I felt like I could touch it. It was probably another arm's length, but I could. And I had a GoPro, which I never used, but I just turned it on and chucked it in the water, and just when it came past, I was trying to film it, and I kept thinking, I was just thinking, well, if this thing suddenly turns around, I better rip my arm out of the water quick because I won't have an arm, because I'm only 2 arms lengths from it.
Because you'd actually, I was saying to Alan, I didn't even realise he had a GoPro, and it's only like an older one. It doesn't even have the screen on the back of it.
Yeah.
So, but the footage is just amazing. Like it really, it made me sort of appreciate the size of this thing. Like it was only, I say only 4 metres for a great white is probably on the smaller side. But it is big.
It's a big shark.
Yeah, the girth on it is huge. It's like you can imagine the weight of it and how it would, the impact of that, the jaw coming down on you. It was,
It was an absolute amazing creature. And so you wonder what it is that triggers them to attack. And
well, had you actually, chopper going over now. Had you actually decided to move and created that splash with the paddles, would that maybe have incited it to...
We sort of followed, the guys in the boat were standing up a lot higher and they could see it.
Yeah.
And they said, it's sort of gone away.
Yeah.
And they followed us back. And there was the boat that came out, one of them was like a barge, one of the workboats there. And the fisheries boat hadn't got there yet because they were up at Two Rocks, which was sort of half an hour away. And so they'd only just got there when we started leaving. But we knew we could get on the boat. But they asked us if we wanted to climb on the boat. But the sides of it was so high that you're trying to get out of the kayak and get out, you're likely to fall in. Plus you would have damaged your boats trying to get it up the steelwork in it, because they're all fiberglass boats, and it would have wrecked them trying to get them on the boat. But I guess if someone had been attacked or it had got actually really aggressive, I probably would have said, just said, bugger the kayak, I'm getting on the boat, But it hadn't come to that,
When you said, it was a calm day, you saw it. And I'm wondering, because you were the one that originally saw the fin coming to sort of warn everyone. So I'm wondering, had you not seen that fin, would you still have noticed it?
I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, something moving, and I could see the fin. It was coming in, there was a bit of white water coming off it. It was coming in that fast.
Yeah, wow.
And it's dead flat sea, so there's no waves breaking. And I'm and then I realised that it wasn't, and I saw the shape of it and the size of it, and I knew it was a white shark straight away. And I just said to the guys, we got company, guys, we've got a big shark here now. And one of the guys had actually been in the same crew that were bailed up on the Saturday, he said to me, oh no, not again. and we said, right, raft up. We knew that's what we had to do. So we all bunched up and then thought we'll take it from there. And then that's when it just went around us and around us and around us.
Because there was only one guy in your group that had been in the other group that saw the other one. Yeah.
How amazing. Within less than a week, he had 2 great white shark encounters.
Yeah.
And, people, you know, that's a lifetime, once in a lifetime thing for most people, you know.
I think, and that's what, like, so when Alan came down to tell me what had happened, I was just in such awe because, I don't know, for me, that's a spiritual experience to witness that creature up so close. And the fact that I had, like, just experienced the humpback whales the week before, like, it was just, I don't know, we both had one of those weeks where it's like a dream come true.
It's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, like, there's such magical creatures. What makes me laugh, that gentleman, though, that was in both groups, because the news crew were down there straight, you know, talking to them straight away, and the, you know, the news chopper had taken some footage of them as well. And your friend said, well, these things happens in threes, so I'll see you next weekend down here.
I know, yeah. I know I won't be paddling out in the open sea until you know there's no more shark warnings out. They've actually put a warning out along the whole coast here from, I think it's from like Trigg or Scarborough to Ocean Reef probably.
Yeah, okay.
But they don't close the beaches. They just put out a caution.
Yeah.
And then they just keep people informed. There's a shark app called Shark Smart.
I was going to ask you about that because you mentioned it.
Yeah, and I'd looked at that and seen that they've got some receivers along the coast here which will pick up the tag sharks.
Yeah.
And there'd been a couple the day before.
Yeah.
So I knew there was some sharks around. And I was tentative when I went out to the island, to be honest.
Yeah, but what are the odds?
I know. Well, obviously the odds were really good.
Yeah, apparently.
But I'd always had it on my bucket list because as a youngster, I was a really keen diver and spearfishing. I was into spearfishing, and I just loved anything to do with sharks. I was obsessed with sharks. Yeah. So seeing a great white shark in the wild, and that's not really like in a cage or anything, you know. It's just coming across one in the wild was always on my bucket list. So when it actually happened and I came back with all my limbs, and I was like, I thought, hey, I didn't really want to be in the water. I think I've seen a great white maybe once before in Byron Bay about this time last year. I had a shark go past me with a fin up, but I could identify it. Yeah. And it certainly scared me, but I was never really sure what it was. But now after this, I have a sneaking suspicion it might have been a smaller great white.
Yeah.
So I might have been really lucky that time because I was sitting on a surfboard. So,
but I think too, though, that like it was just the perfect way for you to experience it, I think, because when you're in a boat, you're still a little bit removed. There's, you know, you don't have that adrenaline rush really because you're in the safety of a boat. But on a surfboard, you wouldn't really want to experience it because you're way too vulnerable. Yeah, and even in a kayak on your own. But because there was a few of you, it was. I reckon that whole experience. Sometimes, like the universe just provides these situations where it's just perfect. You know, like the water conditions were perfect.
It's almost impossible to explain the feeling. I guess you'd be an idiot to say that you weren't scared. Yeah. So there's this mixture of fear and also like respect and awe of such a. You can't really, looking out at the ocean now behind us. Seriously, these sharks are out there right now because they've been here all week. Yeah. So somewhere around here, there's going to be a couple of great whites cruising around for sure. And I spoke to the fishies guy, and he says they have no idea why they come in here because there's no whales out in close here. There's nothing here for them to really feed on.
That island that you'd gone out to, there's seals there though.
There's sea lions, but there was only 2 out there. Yeah, and one was in the water, and I think there was 2 on the beach. Normally there's more. And so we reckon that the sea lions sense the presence of the great whites in that area. And let's face it, I mean, if there's at least 2 sharks that are tagged, plus the one we saw, which they don't think it had a tag on it, but it's not one of the ones for the receiver. And then the 5 metre one, which wasn't tagged, that's 4 within a week in that little area. Yeah. So what's drawing them? There's no whale carcass, there's no real food for them.
It is whale season though. So
yeah, but they're mostly outside the reef here. Well, there's not many that come. You do get them in here. I was going to say,
you don't see them very often. It's close
to
shore
here.
Yeah.
And it'll be on the news and everybody will drive down here to see them. Yeah. So it really makes you wonder what it is. From Scarborough, which is probably a few k's further down, towards Rottnest Island, that area of water straight out there, once you get past the line of reefs, which is a couple of k's out, is full of humpbacks at the moment.
Is what, sorry?
Full of humpback whales.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
tons of them out there.
Yeah.
But why the sharks aren't out there and coming right into the shore is really strange.
Yeah.
Fisheries guy said they don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
the fisheries guy was one of the guys that is sort of like in the team that studies great white sharks.
Yeah.
He's not just he's not a fisheries inspector. He was a scientist, you know.
Yeah.
And he spoke to me quite a bit. Actually, he was really good. So gave me a lot of information, but he probably gave me too much information.
Now that's all you're going to be thinking about when you go out there.
Yeah. So what is it that they decide to attack and not attack?
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I think, and I said to Alan, I watched that, what's her name? Ramsey, Ocean Ramsey.
Ocean Ramsey, yeah.
And I often watch her online because she swims with sharks regularly and she is very familiar with their behaviour, and she's always like, you know, if you see a shark coming towards you, just make sure you put like an inanimate object in between you, so like your flippers or you've got a GoPro or something.
Yeah.
And so I watch her and I think, oh yeah, you know, if a shark comes near me, I know what to do. But like Alan said, like this thing comes out of nowhere, you're not going to see it coming.
Oh. If you had been swimming and that thing came in like that after you, you wouldn't know you would never see it.
Yeah.
And and if you were swimming in the water, like completely in the water, you would never have seen it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't swim around. Most of the time, we only really saw the dorsal fin when it came in. The rest of the time, it was just low enough so the dorsal fin wasn't out of the water.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think I've always thought that because I'm shark aware, that if I was surfing, I'd see one. I might think twice about that now.
Yeah.
Because I think they could sneak up on you so silently, so fast.
Yeah.
And you would just sort of notice the swirl on the water next thing you'd be next to you before you even saw anything else. Yeah. Which I'm not trying to scare everybody, but
no.
But it's all about
that's the risk you take.
Picking,
I mean, like
the chances of that what happened the other day are so slim.
Yeah.
But given the circumstances of what's been going on the last few days, you're probably better advised to be very careful. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kayak right out there again today.
No
way.
That's the thing. I mean, you wouldn't. The odds of seeing them again after the first group seeing it, you would think are very low. But you know, now, I mean, I snorkel a lot, and I tend not to worry too much about sharks because I'm generally within the reef, so I don't think about it so much.
Yeah.
And I have noticed like a lot more sightings of sharks over the last few years, and I've talked to a few surfers about it. And a lot of them say, look, you know, we see sharks quite often. It's actually just that we have the technology now to see them. So, excuse the car. We're in a car park. So, you know, we've got drones and things now so that we see a lot more sharks than we probably normally would.
Yeah.
But they've always been out there.
Exactly, Well, I think from when, my personal view, and this is just my thinking, is that the humpback whale population when I first when I was a youngster, when they had whaling, was supposed to be, I read where it was only like 1,500 whales, these are humpback whales migrating up and down the coast.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they knew that. Would have been spotting in planes, because this would have been in the 60s and whatever, 70s maybe.
Yeah.
And then they banned whaling, and the last time I heard, the population's estimated to be about 30 to 40,000 of them.
Yeah.
So it's one of the greatest recovery of an endangered species of anything.
Yeah.
And so now we've got tons of whales. So it stands to reason that if great white sharks feed on whales and they pick on the young and the injured and all the rest of it, there's a huge amount of food for them now.
True.
And also they've banned killing, they're a protected species,
That's right.
the great whites. So no wonder they're probably doing pretty good.
And I was going to say that, I used to work at a place where there was it was a fishing club, so there was a lot of fishermen there, and they'd always talk about how they were noticing that the shark population was increasing over time, because every time they're trying to reel something in, a shark's coming in and grabbing the catch before they can get it, and so they were progressively noticing the increase in shark behaviour over the last few years. So I think, the fact that we can't fish the sharks now, like you say, it's definitely contributing to more activity. But I think it's a valid point about the whales too, though.
That's my little theory. Whether that's true. I mean, if you increase the food for a species, it's going to thrive. And I think that's what's happening. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's just nature getting back to its balance.
Yeah.
The bit that doesn't fit into it really well is there's so many more people going back in the water now. So many more people are diving, kayaking, surfing, paddleboarding. You know, we're all entering the food chain in a way.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the accidents are going to happen, and that's all they are. I mean, sharks don't go out deliberately looking for people to eat.
No.
There's not enough people eating to keep them going. You know, we just happen to get in the way of it, and there's certain triggers that that sharks sort of see as potential food.
Yeah.
And the trick is to find out what it is about people that sometimes the odd shark will decide to have a bite. And they reckon a lot of times, because sharks don't have hands and whatever, their way of feeling something and just checking something out is just to taste it. But for a human being, that's massive blood loss, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, when a great white shark, 4 metre great white shark, just decides to find out what you are and have a little taste, that's what they often do on kayaks and stuff like that. They'll come up and hit the rudder, and then when they find it's hard, and same with boats and motors, then they'll back off then because they know, well, that's not food.
Yeah. It's pretty hectic though. Like, I mean, of all the stories Alan's had to tell me, this has got to be the best one ever.
Yeah.
It was so cool because he's come down to tell me, and I hadn't seen him yet since I'd had my whale experience. So we're both like, this happened and that happened, and what an experience.
I was really glad because I don't normally take my GoPro out because I haven't really mastered how to use it, and it was the one time I took it out and I haven't taken it out for years. So I actually when the shark came in, I actually forgot I had it, and then I suddenly thought, oh, I better get the GoPro out of the cockpit.
You were channeling your inner Christy.
I know. And then I thought, now when I see Christy, I can actually prove that my stories have some substance. Because you must wonder, you think, God, this guy's so much full of bullshit, you know. But you must have started to wonder, you know.
But I think, and that's what I was saying though in my last video, is that when I was out there with the whales, you've got to be in it to win it. Like, the reason that we have these stories to tell is because we are out in nature, and it's one of the biggest reasons I have this channel, is because I'm trying to encourage you all to get out into nature more, because you have they are magical experiences, right? Like, they're once in a lifetime experiences, and you can't experience those if you're sitting on your couch, you know. So that's
what we said, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
You do have to risk it for the biscuit, 100%.
So if you don't go in the water, you'll never see anything. But at the same time, you just have to be sensible about it, and you know, stay with somebody else, and you know, just
always
keep aware of everything.
Always make sure that there's someone further out in the water than
good
you,
thinking.
is my theory.
Good thinking,
Oh, thanks so much for sharing today. Like, I'm so excited to show you all that footage and introduce you to Alan, because he's always got a great yarn to tell me. So
I don't know how I'm going to get a better one than